Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this special edition of the Feuerstein's Fire American Soccer Show. We're going to review the 2025 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup third round proper, as I'll talk to some of the writers and coaches, broadcasters that cover these clubs in American soccer, whether it be in Major League Soccer, the United Soccer Leagues, NISA, NPSL, and so on. Great to have you all here with me tonight on StreamYard, on YouTube, LinkedIn, and then later on, I'll be sharing this link with all of you on both Twitter and Blue Sky. But first things first, thank you for joining me. We're going to talk some great things tonight. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I can't wait to share this show with all of you. It's just going to be tremendous. And you know what else is tremendous? CBS Sports is tremendous. And I'll tell you why CBS Sports is tremendous. Because CBS Sports has done, once again, an amazing job of covering and broadcasting the U.S. Open Cup. You know, when they came out of nowhere in the 2023 edition, and we had some of these games already played in round one, round two, then they came out of nowhere and said, we would like for U.S. Soccer to accept our terms to allow us to broadcast 3 Open Cup matches a round. We can do one on one day, and we'll do 2 on the other day, starting in the third round. And they did. And when they broadcasted those games, the selected games, because at that time it was under Turner Sports, because they are the official broadcaster of the U.S. men's and U.S. women's national team, basically of everything U.S. soccer. But when they started to do the Open Cup, they said, well, look, we're only going to let you have 5 games on our Bleacher Report YouTube page. And while that was nice, it just wasn't enough. And so CBS Sports came in and took 3 games extra per round. And then when it got closer to the semifinals and the final, basically Turner said, yeah, we're going to opt this out. We're going to step out. We're not going to be part of Open Cup coverage anymore. And CBS said, fine, we'll take it over. And when they had their Galazzo Network studio and desk, not only in between matches, but during halftime in these matches, and it was just wonderful. I just said to myself, wouldn't it be nice if CBS Sports can just take it over full time? And then once again, CBS Sports, took over the semifinals and the final when Turner Sports opted out. And while it's nice that Turner, started off with the Open Cup, and I just thought, okay, look, this is a good starting point. 5 games using their Bleacher Report. I hope maybe TBS, TNT would get involved with an Open Cup game here and there. But they wanted out. They didn't want to be a part of it anymore, and that's fine. CBS Sports took it over. And then I keep raving about the 2023 final because why? Because I felt not only was it broadcasted well on the coverage play-by-play, but at the time, Kate Scott, Clint Dempsey, Charlie Davies at the table, at the final, at Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. They did an excellent job. They had Susanna Collins, now Susanna Fuller, who was one of the sideline reporters, along with Nico Cantor, as they both had their bench assignments. Andres Cordero, Ray Hudson were your broadcasters. And then Christina Uncle always does a great job with the rules analyzing, for the laws of the game. They took over. And the editing jobs that CBS Sports did was just tremendous. Not only comparing the Open Cup to the NCAA men's basketball tournament, the Final Four, but comparing American history and sports history, American sports history, and intertwining it with the U.S. Open Cup. Those two editing pieces that they did, I just said to myself, give CBS Sports the contract now. Give it to them now. And now look what happened here. We all know what happened in 2024 when MLS sabotaged the Open Cup. Now, MLS is back with 16 clubs. It's still not enough, but that's another time for another show, and we'll always talk about that anyway. But let me just say that just to see CBS coming back. Well, actually, let me go back. Let me go backwards a little bit here. When CBS was ready to give U.S. Soccer a 3-year deal to broadcast the Open Cup, that's when MLS sabotaged the whole situation. And then U.S. Soccer had to say, not now. And we lost one solid year of CBS broadcasting the U.S. Open Cup. And now, I would say around end of March, beginning of April, we get the articles that U.S. Soccer and CBS Sports did go back to the negotiating table, signed the 2-year deal for this year and next year, 2026. And these games will be seen from the third round till the final for this year. I don't know about what's going to happen next year, but we'll wait for that. But from the third round till the final, CBS Sports has control of broadcasting rights to the U.S. Open Cup using their linear channels like CBS Sports Network, online channel like CBS Sports Golazo Network, and you can see it live and free on PlutoTV.com. Or you can use it for their Paramount Plus website and or app. You can also go to Paramount Plus and watch the remainder of the games on their streaming service on digital platform. And I understand it's a paywall, but you know what? It's worth it. It's so worth it. And it's fantastic. And I'm happy. I am very happy. I'm excited. It is wonderful to see the production, the care, the accuracy of how CBS Sports has taken this game by the reins, or shall we say by the soccer ball. They've taken this game by the reins and said, we are going to excel, whether it is going to be domestic or international. It started with the UEFA Champions League, and then it became Serie A in Italy, and then the UEFA Europa League, now the new Conference League, and another European league in the Scottish Premier League. They went to South America with the Brasileiro and the Argentinian First Division. And domestically, they went with the NWSL. And now, CONCACAF Nations League, by basically streaming the group stage games and some of these other games in the playoffs and the quarterfinals on Paramount Plus, the semifinals and the final. Now, the EFL with the championship in League One and the EFL Cup title. And now the U.S. Open Cup. And now, USL Championship and League One matches, sharing them with ESPN Plus. But still, though, they host the final of the USL Championship and the USL League One title final. I just have to tell you, this has been tremendous. This has been exciting. This makes me feel really happy to see that CBS Sports truly cares And they don't take it for granted. And now, once again, with Open Cup coverage, look what happened. Look what we just saw this past Tuesday and Wednesday. On CBS Sports Network, a pregame show before a match started, and that was with Louisville City and Loudoun United. And there they were, Nate Bukaty with Tony Meola, Charlie Davies, Mike Grella on Tuesday, and then Michael LaHood on Wednesday. Look what they did. And look what they've done in between matches at halftime, not just on Paramount Plus, not just on CBS Sports Galazo Network, but on CBS Sports Network, discussing the highlights at halftime and, of course, final scores. They treated it like they treat the NFL on CBS, like the NCAA tournament, college basketball, college football, golf, tennis, anything and everything. And, all I can say is I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm thrilled. I am so thrilled that the U.S. Open Cup has a home, a permanent home, in my opinion, for broadcasting, covering the game in this country. And to see, even though I know it's my logo here for the StreamYard, to see on the top right-hand corner when it says CBS Sports, and it says a round 3 match in the Open Cup, it's just unbelievable. Look, I understand that the majority of these matches are being done in a studio somewhere in South Florida. I believe it's Vista Link. But does that matter? No, does not matter. Because they're doing a job and they're doing it well. And of course, having both Mike Watts and Devin Kerr, which I guess they traveled to do Sacramento Republic and El Farolito from Sacramento. I mean, you're ordering burritos. I mean, you want to know what they taste like from the El Farolito Taquero restaurant. All those burritos, boy, I'll tell you. To see the care and the want. There comes a time where you're just happy that, okay, they're broadcasting the games. Then it becomes, okay, what network is going to step up and actually do this? And even though ESPN did enough when they had the entire matches, every single match of every single round of the Open Cup, and unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. Oh, sure, you had recorded halftime thoughts from Taylor Twellman and John Champion at that time, but was that enough? No, it wasn't. It was not enough. And I feel at times ESPN was dropping the ball. But now, CBS Sports makes me feel proud that they have real care in American soccer with the Open Cup, with the USL Championship and USL League One. Can MLS follow suit once the Apple TV deal is over with? Who knows? I don't know. But one thing is for sure, folks, is that this has been a tremendous thing that we have seen, and I'm just thrilled to see it happen. Great show for you tonight. I have a couple of guests on, but before we do, let's go ahead and review the best games that I have chosen to talk about here on the U.S. Open Cup Round 3 review show, and we're going to go straight to the New England region where you saw Portland Hearts of Pine from Portland, Maine, taking on Rhode Island FC. And, what a barn burner that was. And that was exciting to watch because you saw deep in the heart of the New England region why these teams want to battle against each other and put shame to one another when you get the victory. And look at that just amazing match here. Unfortunately for Portland Hearts of Pine, they fall to Rhode Island FC by final of 1-2. Look, this was a yellow card fest, ladies and gentlemen, a yellow card fest going on. It was just unreal. Um, and it's just one of those things where, there were 10 yellow cards. I know I have 9 up there. I probably did miss one in the match, and I'll probably go back and take a look at it. But still, though, just a tremendous game when you're watching pride and let's just say not just pride, but uh, bragging rights on the line. Portland Hearts of Pine may have gained an advantage over Hartford Athletic, but Rhode Island FC was never going to allow them to get, to go 2 for 2 in this. So all you can say really is that, I made an error there. What can you say? You can't, you got to say this though, it's just one of those things where, Rhode Island was not going to allow Portland Hearts of Pine to go 2 for 2 in this one. And boy, oh boy, did they ever really take advantage of their situation. And it was just tremendous to see what they were capable of doing. And, early goals here from Rhode Island. Clay Holstad getting the opening goal in the 34th minute. That was a big one for them to get a foothold in the match. Frank Nodarsi, gets that second goal within 3 minutes in the 37th minute to make it 2-0. They led at halftime. I mean, the fouls were just unbelievable. The fouling, some professional fouling, but they were battling. They were battling each other, and it was just amazing to watch them going at each other with these games. And what can you say? It's just tremendous work from both clubs. They were battling, fighting, scratching, clawing, and it was just amazing to watch. And then, of course, it was like I said, it was a card fest, and but still, though, this is the type of match you don't mind. You don't mind seeing them battling against each other going forward here, and it's just one of those things where you just have to say that you enjoyed a match like this. Now, for Portland, Maine, they did pull one back by Titus Washington in the 65th minute. And then you're thinking to yourself, can Portland get that equalizing goal? Now, don't forget, in the round 2 match against Hartford Athletic, Portland down a man, and then Hartford scored in extra time to make it 1-0. But then Portland found a way to get their goal to equalize, and they made it 1-1. And then it went straight to the shootout, and they found a way to win the shootout. It was just unbelievable. It was tremendous. But unfortunately for Portland, they could not get that second goal. They could not get that equalizer. They could not force extra time. And so they fall in regulation to Rhode Island FC by a final of 1-2. But of course, then we're seeing a lot of things going on. And that is, once again, it is the red cards. And so with the red cards, Well, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's my first. I guess that's my first error on Streamyard. I apologize about that. Wasn't expecting that to happen. So, and hopefully this won't happen again. So I apologize. I was trying to get my camera to get back on the line, and there we go. Well, that's what happens sometimes in a live broadcast. So at least I kept the screen up so you can see what was going on in this matchup. Just to say that once again in this match between Portland Hearts of Pine and Rhode Island FC, we have Mikey Lopez got his second yellow card and then red card in the 87th minute. And before that, Karifa Yao got first yellow in the 76th. 2 minutes later, second yellow into red. So he will be missing the fourth round matchup. And we'll talk about those fourth round matchups later on in the show. So there you have it. Unfortunately for Portland Hearts of Pine, their run in the Open Cup has come to an end. But for Rhode Island FC, that is their first victory in the U.S. Open Cup. Last year, they were one and done against Charlotte Independence, and that would be it for them. Unfortunately for them, but still, though, good for Rhode Island FC. Now, my first guest tonight. He is my colleague at Beyond the 90. He is also a well-known soccer blogger, soccer writer, procrastinist, and if you dare tread on Florida, he'll stop you. No, I'm kidding. My good friend Kartik Krishna are on joining me. Kartik, welcome to the show for the new revamped Four Seas Fire American Soccer Show on the Open Cup. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for doing this, Daniel. Great to have you back with Forest Fire. Sorry I couldn't make it earlier in the week to preview the third round. Had a death in the family. What a round of football. What a great week of soccer here in the States.
Oh, it was unbelievable, Kartik. Just sitting here in my, I don't know if I showed you the photo or not. I'll show it to you later, but where I am right now. I did. Good. Yeah. Yeah. I was all set, ready to go. I got CBS Sports Network on the TV. I got all my streams on my computer. I had the extra laptop. It was just unbelievable. And I'm ready for it. It was really unbelievable. But, you had a great match. You traveled all the way to Naples, Florida to watch FC Naples taking on the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And something new here for myself and for you. So here we go. Look at that, Kartik.
Wow.
Unbelievable, huh?
Good graphics. When and it's important to mention in terms of this that at the end of regular time, there was a goal line clearance by Forrest Lasso. At the end of the first extra time, there was a penalty shot, which after watching it on replay, I believe should have been a penalty that Naples should have had. And then at the end of the second extra time, Jaden Onan, quite possibly the best player for Naples, goes just wide of the far post, just wide. That was right in front of me. I thought that was going in. The entire press box was, and then it went wide. So it was quite. It felt like then it would go, since it was going to penalties. Okay, Tampa Bay is going to win because Naples has been the better side, really throughout the 120 minutes. But then Leo Fernandez missed his penalty. He's coming off another injury. Leo Fernandez has not been fit for the better part of the last 3 seasons, I have to say. Really, since the Eastern Conference Final in 2022 in the USL Championship. So he misses that penalty. His brother later converts a penalty for FC Naples. By the way, if tactical manager, the famous tactical manager happens to be watching us, I know he's friends with the Fernandez family. So this was a Fernandez derby. But then Forrest Lasso becomes the hero in the extra time also. And I want to mention, he was a hero at regular time, hero in pens. I want to mention Forrest Lasso was out for 11 months. Had an injury against FC Tulsa. at Al Lang last May. That next Wednesday, they were hosting Dallas in the Open Cup. Great game that they lost. And Lasso, it turned out to torn his ACL. And his first match back was against Loudoun on Saturday, a loss for Tampa Bay at Al Lang. So great game. There's a lot to get into about Naples, how impressed I was by them. My concerns about Tampa Bay going forward in the USL Championship season. I didn't really see much to pacify that, but they did at least advance. Now they'll host Orlando City on May 7th.
Yep, yes, they will, and that's going to be a tremendous matchup in round 4. But just sticking to this one, early goals in that first half there. Now, if you can correct me if I make a very bad mistake on how to pronounce his name for the Rowdies, is Pacifique Nyongabri? Is that how you do it, or
Nyongabiri? But yeah,
Nyongabiri? Okay. Okay, close enough.
Yeah.
But, that was a great goal that he scored to open the score in the 26th minute, just snuck it in inside that near post.
Yeah, no, and Pacifique has been kind of on and off. He left for a week to go play for the Burundi national team and then didn't feature, flew halfway around the world, didn't feature. Nick Moon then subsequently got hurt against Charleston, so Nyongabiri back in at left back or left wing back. With the new coach, Steve Coleman, by the way, the Rowdies, it's been going so poorly, they already sacked Robbie Nielsen a week ago, as I think many of your viewers must know. New coach Steve Coleman sets out in a 4-4-2, which is very different than the 3-4-3 that Nielsen preferred. So Nyongabiri playing as a left midfielder. He's either played as a left wing back or a left back or a left forward in the Nielsen setup. So this was a different role for him, but he gets a goal. I should mention real quickly, there are 3 guys. I'm wearing a Canada national team shirt in honor of our friend Jesse Marsh, Canada soccer shirt. Nyongabiri, Bassett, and Rubens Passius, all former Canadian Premier League players who are now on the Rowdies. So they have a pipeline coming from Canada. Nyongabiri, one of those 3.
No, absolutely excellent stuff there, and obviously in Luke Perpa, who got the equalizer. I mean, that was a hell of a goal, and just seeing that stadium roaring for Naples on that goal to level it at 1 in the 28th minute. Not being behind for so long. That's what you love to see. This is why you love these games so much. Not just because they're in USL League One and they're going to have a great season so far, and it looks like they're off to a good start. But the way they started in the Open Cup has been tremendous. Stopping, I believe it was Sarasota Paradise in the opening round, and then they just handled their business in the second round. And look, Tampa Bay. I mean, I gotta be honest. You feel bad for Naples because. Yeah. They were on the front foot all game long.
Yes, they were by far the better team in regular time. But you live by the sword, you die by the sword. That Sarasota Paradise match, they were kind of lucky to get out of it, right? They were lucky to get through that. They're unbeaten in USL League One, as you mentioned. This game, they were dominant. The Rowdies just made a coaching change. There were a lot of injuries. They were missing several guys. Blake Bodley, who I think is one of the best left-sided players in the USL Championship. Lewis Hilton, I think everybody knows how good he is. They were missing Lawrence White, which was a big miss as well, the right back, and someone else was hurt also. I'm blanking on who the someone else was. But they were down to 15 senior players, and then they had 2 academy players on the bench. One of them, Mustali, came on and coolly slotted home a penalty in the penalties. But yeah, Naples was on the front foot, and I got to talk about the atmosphere, Daniel. I've been telling FC Naples I was going to come out for a game, and unfortunately, every week that they played, I've either had a Rowdies game to cover or a Miami FC game to cover. So, unfortunately, there's only one of me. USL Championship kind of takes precedence over USL League One in terms of coverage here in Florida. So I had not been to a Naples home game yet, and it was unbelievable. You have 2 weeks to sell that match. That's it. I don't think people who haven't worked in front offices know how hard it is to sell Open Cup matches when you find out to draw 12 days before a match. and then you have to turn around. Your sales team has to be repurposed to sell the match. They sold 3,500 tickets for this match. The supporters section was filled. The supporters section moved from one side of the pitch to the other side for the penalty kicks. And this was actually their smallest crowd of the season, believe it or not, because they've been playing on Saturdays and they've been getting 4,500 plus for each match. What an atmosphere. It was loud. It was ruckus. Obviously, local derby to a certain extent. There were traveling Rowdies fans. This is what USL really is beginning to do well. And I think you and I, for years, Daniel, said for USL to become a bona fide better mousetrap, so to speak, to compete with MLS and to have promotion and relegation, they have to have soccer-specific stadiums. They have to go to markets which are soccer-hungry. There was every local television station in the Fort Myers, Naples market sent a cameraman or camerawoman to this match. There were, I would say, 20 to 25 reporters at the match. Quite frankly, this tells me Tampa Bay, Miami, you may be in the USL Championship. In Florida, you better up your game because FC Naples, they're drawing, they're probably getting as many people in their press box, as much media as Orlando City gets. Not as much as Inter Miami because there's a certain someone there, but maybe as much as Inter Miami was getting before that Argentine goat arrived. And this is what, and you have said it for years, Daniel, you got to build soccer-specific stadiums.
Exactly.
Naples got a soccer-specific stadium. Feels like this is a club, once Pro Rel comes in, could shoot up the pyramid because they got that infrastructure. They got the training complex. They got the stadium. They got the local sponsors. They've got the local media. You got to build that. And once you build that, you could do Pro Rel. It's being built now, so I'm very confident we can do Pro Rel in 2028. I wasn't always so confident, but this was fantastic. Now, in terms of the Rowdies, I have to mention they hung in there. They survived. Quite frankly, Aaron Guillen was a wreck in the first half. He's been playing very poorly. Played poorly against Charleston when he came on in the second half. Played poorly against Loudoun. Played horribly in this first half against Naples. Forrest Lasso, coming off that injury, comes in, settles them down, and the Castellanos Lasso center back combination. I said Naples dominated the match. I stand by that. But those two center backs were so good for Tampa Bay. And Forrest Lasso is one of the best center backs over the course of the last 5 years in USL Championship. Castellanos, I think, was an above-average center back in MLS for much of his time in Kansas City. So you have those two center backs, you're always going to stay in games. And that's why Naples had problems finishing. I think they probably should have had a penalty at the end of the first extra time. They potentially could have had a penalty in the second half also. Tampa Bay survived and advanced. I guess that's what you need to do.
And, you feel bad for Julian Cisneros, 10th round, couldn't convert, and Tampa Bay takes it in penalties 9-8 after 1-1.
Let me also mention this about Cisneros. I did not think he would take that penalty. I thought they were going to have their goalkeeper take it because Cisneros, he was cramping badly at the end of the match. And yet he hit that almost perfectly. Hit the crossbar, but he still had enough in him to lift it. I thought it might, once I saw him step up, I'm like, okay, he's going to miss. This might be a meek effort. It was a great effort, but he was cramping. So it was the 10th round. The only thing you have is the keeper. Maybe you have the keeper take it. I don't know. It's hard to second guess. Just some wonderful finishing, cool finishing. It was incredible to see center backs and right backs and left backs step up, make their penalties. You usually don't see that from both sides. So that was tremendous.
Now, we all know it's going to be Rowdies and Orlando City over at Al Lang. It's going to be a ruckus, that's for sure. And I'm not talking about the supporters group from Orlando City, but we all know Orlando and Tampa is going to be amazing.
Yeah. So I have to mention, since you mentioned the ruckus, the last time Orlando City went to Al Lang Stadium, and I was there in July of 2014, there were problems. There were incidents between the ruckus and the ILF on the Orlando side and the one supporters group at the time. There are a few more now for Tampa Bay, but the one that existed at the time, which was Ralph's mob. Many arrests were made. Some Orlando fans were basically hauled away to jail that night. I think things are not quite as anymore. They're not playing every year anymore, but it is Um, it is a derby, and it is two sets of supporters who don't like each other, and it's turned into that in the past. So when you mentioned the ruckus, I had to mention, like, the last time there were problems. Now that was 10 years ago. Al Lang has been renovated since then, so I think I'm just hoping we don't have any problems, and I'm hoping security is equipped to deal with any problems we might have at that match.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you, and I hope that's the case as well. And of course, it always look whether it's soccer or arena football.
Oh yeah.
Orlando and Tampa hate each other with a passion.
Yeah, in fact, that arena football rivalry, Predators and Tampa Bay
Storm.
Storm, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I was told when the Rowdies Orlando City rivalry began, hey, it's just the same thing. It's just an extension of it. We just moved it from arena football to soccer. War on I-4. And yeah, and I think that now there's a heated um, element, which is that some fans in the Tampa Bay area think the Rays might be headed to Orlando. The Rays own the Rowdies. Keep that in mind. So, yeah, that adds another bit of spice on this matchup. So it will be interesting. Obviously, I think Orlando's the favorite. Tampa Bay, right now, for me, one of the weakest teams in the USL Championship, but that could change. Leo Fernandez, Forrest Lasso, two key guys getting back to full fitness, and then you've got in Lewis Hilton, a player who's hurt currently, who is obviously over the course of the last 5 years been one of the best, also in the USL Championship. So things could be different by May 7th. You could have a much fitter Tampa Bay team, which would be a good team, in my opinion, and have a good shot of winning. But the Tampa Bay team we saw this past week against Naples, the Tampa Bay team we saw at the weekend against Loudoun, the Tampa Bay team we saw in Charleston, which led to Robbie Nielsen's sacking, that Tampa Bay team is not good enough. But keep in mind, there are significant numbers of injuries, which is why, Daniel, those of you who listen to our third half podcast may have heard, and Florida Soccer Report podcast may have heard James Knowles and myself, Jonathan Starling and myself, just really question the sacking because, sure, the results haven't been good. It's only a month into the season, and some of your key guys haven't really gotten to play yet.
No, very true. And before we say goodbye, Carter, we're going to do a little shameless plugging here. Beyond the 90, of course. How has our Open Cup coverage been so far at Beyond the 90, and how well have we been doing?
It's fantastic, Daniel. We're getting so many readers and listeners and viewers to the stuff you're doing, listening to your stuff. Actually, interestingly enough, the audio podcast downloads for your Open Cup reviews far exceed the video plays. We're getting hundreds of downloads. I think they're used to the Feuerstein Fire audio show, right? So they're downloading your audio. Check out Daniel's videos too. They're like this. They're great. But the numbers are high. I have to tell you, Daniel, this is not a shot at the USMNT. You did a bunch of USMNT stuff after the CONCACAF Nations League. The Open Cup stuff is doubling or quadrupling that in terms of numbers. And I think that last thing I'll say about this, I think that owes itself to U.S. Soccer treating this tournament properly for the first time, plugging this tournament. This tournament now has more prize money than MLS Cup. This tournament now has more prize money than CONCACAF Champions League, I believe. Not more prize money than Leagues Cup, but more than CONCACAF Champions League, more than MLS Cup. And U.S. Soccer has gotten the right sponsors behind it. And we're seeing, at least on our end, more interest in Open Cup than we have in the national team. Significantly more. So, and significantly more than the CONCACAF Champions League stuff you've done. So, it's awesome. This is what you worked for 20 years, Daniel, covering this tournament. So, I tip my cap to you as well. You've helped
Thank you.
You've helped bring us to this point.
Absolutely. But of course, I'm just one part of the cog. We all know we have to also give credit to Josh Hakala, as well as him and everyone else at the cup.us.
Jake
Sillick, they do an amazing job of covering everything from head to toe, from the qualifying rounds for the amateur clubs to all the rounds proper, all the draws, and even all the little tournaments that leads into those automatic spots qualifying for the Open Cup, like the U.S. Adult Soccer Association Championship, and as well as everything that goes on, UPSL spring final,
Yeah, yes, I
they
watched.
go
They
to
get
the
that one
Open Cup
spot. Yeah.
automatically. But once again, look, it's just tremendous work from
Judge,
everybody all around.
I have to mention this. Josh has sent me to qualifying matches in September in the past. So follow the cup.us. They do great work. And they don't just follow the Open Cup proper. They follow all those qualifying matches you mentioned. I've gone and covered some of those matches for them in the past. And more information about the Open Cup than you'll get anywhere.
Yep, absolutely. Kartik, as always, thanks again for joining me tonight. Hope to have you back on the show for a regular show and we can get down to the business of American soccer again, as always. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniel.
And I'll see you again soon, okay?
Yeah, thank you, Daniel.
All right, thank you. That's Kartik Krishnaiyer from my colleague at Beyond the 90 as he joins me uh, from his home here in South Florida, which of course I was here. Now I'm here in South Florida, but it's just absolutely wonderful to have him on and for him to join me to discuss the Open Cup and add that big matchup. So as we get ready to go here, just waiting for my next guest, the head coach of Chattanooga Red Wolves of USL League One, Mr. Scott McKenzie. And just waiting for him to join me to be on the show. And we could talk about what a run they're having at this point in time. So as we get ready for more conversations about the U.S. Open Cup. And, it's just, it's really amazing to see when a club in the lower levels gets these victories. And, look, you live by the sword, you die by the sword during these penalty kick shootouts. And hopefully we will be seeing him shortly to talk about this. But, once again, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and we'll see what happens moving forward. And we shall see what we will get. And once again, the U.S. Open Cup third round review show, as we are just all set here, ready to go to talk about the Open Cup. And it was just tremendous, absolutely tremendous to see what we have here. But once again, for this tournament, and we'll wait for him to show up, and we got time, of course. So I want to talk about some of these other games, of course, before we talk about Chattanooga and Vegas, because that was a huge victory. But before we get to that one, let's go right now to Union Omaha. They're on another run again, of course. They put up a 1-0 victory over San Antonio FC. Only goals scored by Dion Akoff, as we see him putting in the only goal in the 37th minute. And once again, just another hard-nosed defending match from both Omaha and San Antonio FC. But unfortunately for the Texas club, that they are done and dusted after a one and done situation. And just really, really difficult to see them moving on as they fell to Union Omaha. And, give Union Omaha a lot of credit. Give them a lot of credit. As, sorry, I'm trying to get my thoughts here if I can make sure that I can get this done. as we're waiting for Mr. Scott McKenzie to join us here to talk about those Red Wolves. Um, as we talk about this game once again, Union Omaha winning this one by a goal to nil. Just solid defense from head coach Dominic Cassiato, and they just did an amazing job. They did an amazing job going in there at home and just doing what they had to do to get the victory. And once again, it was just tremendous work from them. And so, as we now get ready to bring in my next guest, he is the head coach of the Chattanooga Red Wolves of USL League One, Mr. Scott McKenzie joining me. Scott, welcome to the show and good evening, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. Yeah, good. Thanks for having me. Excited to talk.
Now, before we talk about the match, I have to ask you this. Isn't it interesting that your side not only is on a run here, but you've done it through the penalty kick shootout? You did it against New Jersey Alliance in the first round. You did it in the Chattanooga Derby in the second round. And now you did it again to Las Vegas in the third round. What does that mean to see your players, your boys doing a job, not only just in regulation and extra time, but to edge out your opponents in spot kicks?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes to show the mentality of the group. I use this phrase, mentality monsters. I think they're tough. I think that was a really deliberate effort in the off season to recruit personalities over players first and foremost, and make sure that we put together a group that when the going gets tough, we could trust. And I look at I think every single one of us in our group knew the moment we went into extra time. I don't think any of us had doubt we were going to win that game.
No, that's absolutely fantastic. What was that trip to Las Vegas for you guys? Obviously, you normally don't play Las Vegas. You probably play more like Spokane. But what was that trip like? And did you play a little bit of the tables before you played the match?
I was, to be honest, it's a bit brutal. No, I mean, we're in California, so we did Chattanooga, California back to Chattanooga, Chattanooga to Las Vegas, and we've obviously just come back. Las Vegas here, chat, and we play again Saturday. So our travel's been rough. It's about, what's that, about 4,100 miles, something like that. I'm a little bit under the weather. Probably can tell by the way I sound, and I think everyone's a bit tired. But ultimately, again, it comes down to tough people can do tough things, and we were. I think everyone was very well behaved considering that Vegas has its attractions.
Yes, it does. More ways than one. So let's go ahead and go into the match here. Great goal to start off. Zahir Vasquez in the 19th minute put your side ahead 1-0. Just talk about his performance.
Yeah, great. I mean, Zai obviously is someone that I've known for a long time. Played for me when I was in the League Two space, did really well, and then he was 3 years as a pro at Fuego. And in the off season, he was someone that I wanted to bring in. We didn't manage to get it done in the full off season. He was obviously signed 2 3 weeks ago, so again, just delighted for him to go and grab that goal. I thought, I mean, you won't see too many strikes over the weekend that are higher quality than that, and I think it'll be the first of many for him.
Absolutely. Of course, later on in the half, Edison Azcona gets the penalty, converts it 43rd minute. It's 1-1 at halftime. What was your thoughts at halftime when it was at 1-1?
I still thought we were in a commanding position, really. Obviously, Lights are a very good team, a championship team, we're a League One team, all that kind of jazz. But and we had four good chances in that first half, including the goal. I don't think beyond the penalty they had anything we would deem as a real chance. And so, look, they had more of the ball than us. That's not a statistic that I put a whole lot of value in personally. But yeah, it was, look, a silly decision. It's definitely a penny. Silly decision from Toby to engage the way he engaged, and but we were still very confident coming in out of the first half that if we raised our level in certain areas, we could do all right.
Absolutely. You restarted the match in the second half, and you get yourself a penalty, and Pedro Hernandez buries it in the 48th, and you're on the front foot again.
Yeah, and look, Pedro again, so workhorse as a player, runs into areas, becomes a nuisance for players to play against, and a really good quality penalty. And yeah, we're feeling good about ourselves at this point. Obviously, just need to keep things secure, and yeah.
No, absolutely. Um, Unfortunately for you, Lights, they equalize again. Christian Pinzone made it 2-2. Fantastic shot. And it's basically 2-2 going all the way into the end of regulation. No goals in extra time. And you get to the penalty spot, and it's kicks, and it's 1-1 after 2 rounds. Ulefi, uh, sad for him not to convert, but still, though, you're feeling pretty good, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we've taken a lot of penalties recently, so the confidence in those scenarios was high. I think that's the first penalty kick we've missed this year. And while he's a quality player, he's got a lot of experience, and he'll make him again in the future. But even then, we knew with Ricardo in goal, almost guaranteed that he's going to make a save, and he comes up big at the end. And again, I just refer to again the lads are tough mentally. That's said the same thing after the CFC game. We went into penalties. I didn't think there was a doubt. I'd put this collection of individuals, human beings, up against any in terms of mental toughness, and that for me is what penalties are about. Anyone can kick a ball from 12 yards, but how do you handle the moment? They handled it exceptionally well again.
Absolutely, and of course, you get the victory after Gennaro Nigro misses his penalty. Big moment there for Chattanooga. You move on to the fourth round, and you're getting ready to take on in-state rivals now for the Tennessee Derby, for taking on Nashville of MLS. What's going through your mind? What's going through your players' minds, the front office, and have you spoken to any of the supporters about now you're taking on the big club in the state of Nashville? Or
Yeah,
should
I
I say
mean,
state of Tennessee?
yes, so, yeah. I mean, look, we knew going in that if we beat Lights, there's a very good chance that we would play an MLS team, and that's what everyone wants to do. You want to test yourselves against the best, and so that was a big piece of motivation going into the game, and I'm sure a driving factor for the motivation through the game for the lads to give everything they had. And yeah, I think everyone's excited. I'm excited to obviously coach against the MLS standard, and players are excited to play and see where they stack up. And I think for the fans, I mean, again, I've not been out and about today. As I said, I've been a little bit under the weather, but from what I can hear and the little rumblings around the place and texts I've been getting, I think everyone's very excited. It'll be the first time we've played that I'm aware of that the club has played MLS opponent. And so I think it'll be a great night for the football club.
Absolutely. I want to go backwards a little bit because I want to go back to round two for just a couple moments. That match against Chattanooga FC was something I think not just locally wanted to happen, but everyone across the country wanted to happen. They wanted a derby. They really wanted to see the Red Wolves and Chattanooga FC battle it out. Whoever advances to the next round, you deserve the bragging rights. But I have to tell you, um, I could care less if everyone got booked, as long as no one got sent off. That was probably the best derby in an Open Cup match I've ever seen in my life for such a very long time.
Yeah, no, it was a great night, and a great night for the city of Chattanooga. Obviously, a great night for the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Um, and I think Chattanooga's a really unique area in American soccer. You don't, I believe there's LAFC and the Galaxy, and they play in the same city and in the same league, and you could probably say NYFC and New York Red Bulls, but I believe one is in New Jersey and one is in New York. But there isn't at any of the other levels, Championship, League One, or anywhere else, two teams in a city, and especially a city the size of Chattanooga, New York, LA. They are huge, huge world-sized markets. Chattanooga's 250,000 people, so the buzz around the city was enormous going into it. And again, it's just our lot. We were just relishing the chance to. There was a lot of talk off the pitch. Some of it respectful, some of it not so respectful, and we were happy to make sure our fans felt validated. I know that was a big result for them.
It really, really was, and so was this result against Las Vegas Lights. But Mr. McKenzie, thank you for your time. I really do appreciate it. Good luck in the fourth round against Nashville. I'm hoping for a bigger result as well, and maybe, possibly, you're moving on to the fifth round. Thank you again for joining me. Good luck in the next round, and have a good night.
Yep. Cheers. Thank you.
Chicken soup.
Chicken soup. I'm on
Chicken
it.
soup. All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. That's Scott McKenzie, head coach of the Chattanooga Red Wolves, as they get a huge result. They go into the fourth round of the Open Cup. They'll be taking on Nashville SC out of MLS over at Geodis Park. Again, my camera's out again, and I don't know what's going on here, but as long as you can still hear me, that's the most important thing. And as long as you can still hear me, that's all I want. That's all I need. And we will continue on here. And so let's see here what I can do. And as we have, as long as you can still hear me, that's all that matters. As long as you can still hear me, that's all that matters. As I am trying to make sure this camera is working. And let me see, where are you? And if I can find this camera going, I can keep going some more here. Where is the thing that I need? Is that it? No. Where do I go? Where do I go? But right now, we are still live here on StreamYard as I am trying to fix my camera situation. As we looking for as I'm trying to be looking for the camera section here, and so I have my lens closed, but obviously you're still seeing me, I believe. If I'm still going, yes, it's still going. You can still see the voice thing activated. But as we continue on here with the Open Cup show, let's go ahead and let me see if I can pull it up, and maybe it does work. Yes, it does. Great. It does work, as I will now discuss AV Alta FC taking on Orange County SC. And as we can see here, very big matchup there, representing, of course, the state of California. Now, obviously, really tough one for this one, because 15 minutes in, Orange County takes the lead, and is Ousmane Silla. Amazing goal. Just an amazing goal from him. Just unbelievable stuff. And just amazing stuff from him. He was along the far side of the pitch, and he went down went down towards the net by the far post and in such a tight angle roofed it, and somehow he just buried that chance and just roofed it and just somehow got that goal to make it 1-0 in the 15th minute. And that made it 1-0. Nothing till halftime. And then, the way that AV Alta came out into the second half, I didn't think they were not so much that they weren't trying, just I didn't see the same energy that I thought I saw at the start of the match at first. But unfortunately for them, they just couldn't, I thought they weren't going to find a way. And then here comes Lucas Mastrantonio, and he equalizes in the 67th minute. And, they just find a way. And all I can say here is that it was a big goal in the 67th minute as he headed it in off the cross. And that made it 1-1. And there it was, life back into the stadium in Lancaster. And then all of a sudden, here comes Emmanuel Alaribe going on a run with a teammate. And boom, 2-1, 75th minute. And there it is. It looked like the cup set was on. And there you have it. And there I am. I'm back again. That's great. And so, isn't technology great, folks? Isn't it just wonderful? Just a real pain in the rear end, but that's okay. Back on here with you now, and just happy to be back here that you can see me, not just hear me, but you can see me as well. So this is my first times with the issues with StreamYard, and hopefully we'll get that corrected again sometime soon. And so anyway, it was 2-1 for AV Alta out of Lancaster, California. But then all of a sudden, 83rd minute, Orange County gets a corner, and it's Mohamedou. I mispronounced his name the first time. I apologize. Mohamedou War, as in I declare war on you. In the 83rd minute, on a nice header off the far corner delivery, and he made it 2-2. Now, here's something that I didn't expect. Even though this match ended in regulation with 2-2, and it went to extra time, in the 118th minute, we saw substitutions of the goalkeeper. Carlos Avilas, who was the starting goalkeeper in this one, was subbed out for Denzel Smith. Now, apparently, Denzel Smith is the starting goalkeeper for the Trinidad and Tobago national team. started against the U.S. men's national team and against Panama's team, got significant victories against those teams. And so he's coming in to stop penalties for AV Alta FC. So then what happens? Well, simply amazing stuff. It's 2-2 through 2 rounds. And then Kyle Scott of Orange County goes up next. And he is stopped by Smith. Dove to his right, two-handed save, past the outside of the far post. And then it's Sebastian Cruz that makes it 3-2 in penalties. Then Nico Benalcazar skies his shot over the crossbar from the spot. And all Miguel Parajo had to do was bury it. He does. And it would be 4-2 in the shootout for AV Alta over Orange County SC after going 2-2 through regulation and extra time. That was amazing. That was tremendous. And I got to tell you, folks, I could not believe what we saw in that match. It was just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And all I can say is this. AV Alta, for me, is a dangerous side, and they are looking to do tons of damage in the Open Cup. Now, obviously, they'll be playing on the road against FC Dallas at Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. And even though FC Dallas is a two-time Open Cup champion, their inaugural Open Cup championship was in 1997 as the Dallas Burn, defeating DC United and preventing them from their second double championship back then over in Indianapolis at the Mike Carroll Track and Field Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. You just got to say that for Dallas, they're going to be looking to find a way to go out and do some damage. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen there. But obviously, this is going to be a heck of a matchup in the fourth round, I should say. I can't go backwards again. It's going to be the fourth round of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup as we get ready for May 6th and May 7th then. But for AV Alta, this is going to be exciting and it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, let us talk about another match that happened in the third round. And this was on Tuesday night on April 15th. Tacoma Defiance was playing against Oakland Roots. Now, here's the situation that happened. First of all, number one, Tacoma Defiance wins the match by final of 2-1 in extra time. The match winner came from the son of a former MLS legend, Dwayne De Rosario. His son, Oase De Rosario, he got the match winner in the 108th minute. And so far, the Tacoma Defiance advancing to the next round. Now, here's the situation that happened. And as I go ahead and get my notes from that match, and I know I have it right here. I have it right here in my notes. Just want to make sure that I have it correctly in front of me. But still, though, yep, here it is. Here it is. Now, in second half extra time, let me just keep on going because up there it is right there. That's what I wanted right there. There it is. Now, in second half extra time, and the match is like well out of reach, even though Oakland is still trying to fight and get that second goal to equalize for trying to force penalties. There was a situation where the ball was out over the near side touchline, and it was last touched by Tacoma, the Defiance. Of course, they are the MLS 2 team for the Seattle Sounders. Now, um, Oakland's Bobos Boyahu Biyanu Hungla. I hope I pronounced his last name correctly. Like I said, I don't want to butcher anybody's last name, but I hope I pronounced his last name correctly. Bobos Bayanu Honga. He picks up the ball and he's ready to set himself up to throw the ball back into play. Cody Baker, now he's on a yellow card in this match. He was trying to save the ball from going out. He couldn't do it. So after the ball was retrieved by Bobos, Baker is jogging back. Now, Baker obviously put himself in the position to try. I don't know if he was trying to get Bobos booked or sent off. I don't know, whatever happened. But he's walking up or jogging up to Bobos. And I don't know if he bumped him intentionally. I didn't see any bumping motion. I could be wrong. He probably did. But Cody Baker took a right elbow to the side of his head. Now, I don't know if he made complete contact or not, or he just glanced him. But Bobos did throw the elbow. And Bobos was actually making a lot of dangerous tackles in this match, and he was not even being carded for it. And he's lucky. One foul, one horrible foul didn't get carded. Two horrible fouls didn't get carded. That time I thought he was going to get carded, but instead, referee Dion Cox went to Cody Baker, showed him the second yellow card, and then pulled out the red to send him off. Now, I've made this already on the Beyond the 90 recap videos for the Open Cup on day one of round 3. I'm going to reiterate that now. If anyone in the U.S. Open Cup committee, in the adjudication department of the Open Cup, obviously it's on Paramount Plus, the replay. All matches are streamed on Paramount Plus, but of course they'll be seen either as well on either Golazo Network or CBS Sports Network. If I am U.S. Soccer in the Open Cup Committee's adjudication department, and once again, I'm not demanding they do this. This is their discretion. This is their opinion. If they feel they want to, great. If they don't want to, that's fine. I'm not here to tell them what to do or what not to do. But I believe in my heart, wholeheartedly, I would like to see Cody Baker's red card be expunged and the second yellow card also being expunged. He should just have his first yellow of the match, and that's it. Please rescind the red card. I personally believe, and I'm not, I'm not going to bang the drum here. I'm not, banging the table for this to happen. I mean, I don't believe Dion Cox should be suspended. I don't believe, he should be fined. Look, I believe he made an error. I think he made a mistake. I think he made an error, and he gave Cody Baker the yellow card for the wrong reasons. Now, look, if he embellished, okay, fine. You want to give him for embellishing, I guess, fine. But, I mean, the truth is, Bobos Biyanu Hanga, he threw an elbow like this. He just threw it. Threw it. Just threw it. It was violent conduct. Whether he did connect, barely connect, or didn't connect, there was intent. The intent was to elbow Cody Baker, whether it be in the shoulder, in the chest. He got him in the head, or he barely got him in the head. And I really believe that look, that's serious violent conduct. And if you want to give him a yellow for it, fine. If you want to give him a red for it, fine. But to give him no card on that, in my book, was wrong. And so, look, Cody Baker, I believe his red card and the second yellow, they should be rescinded by the Open Cup Committee, or at least U.S. Soccer's adjudication department, and just allow him to perform in the fourth round match against the Portland Timbers. If not, so be it. There's nothing I can say or do. I tried. I tried giving my point of view on this. And so if they choose not to, they choose not to. And all I can say is look, I tried my best. I tried my best to have that taken care of, or at least to make it a point of letting them know that I believe Cody Baker should be allowed to participate in the fourth round match against the Portland Timbers. That's coming up in April. In May. Not, we're already in April. It already happened. We're talking about the fourth round in May, May 7th, Tuesday, May 7th, Wednesday, May 8th, the fourth round matchups in the U.S. Open Cup. We'll get to that very shortly, very, very soon. And so we can go ahead and have some fun with that one. But look, as I've said, red cards are meant to be, bookings are meant to be, but sometimes bookings are not meant to be. And, that's the situation we have here. Another match I want to get into, of course, and, I want to give them credit. I want to give Westchester SC from USL League One a lot of credit. Great run in the Open Cup for the very first time. They defeated the New York Pan-Cyprian Freedoms. No, it was Long Island. I think it was Long Island. No, it wasn't. No. I'm trying to remember who was in the first round again. I have to look that up again. But, all you can really say is for Westchester County, Westchester Sports Club, obviously, soccer club, great run by them. And just a great player that they found in Juan Carlos Obregon. Scoring goals like crazy. And just finding ways to go out there just going in there for Westchester SC. They did a great job going out there. And, they went on a run. They took on a very good Detroit City FC team. Unfortunately, fell to them 3-1. And, hopefully they will be back next year on another run for the Open Cup in 2026. Can't wait for that. Great players, great club, and just doing a great job going out there and finding ways to getting a victory. And I think Juan Carlos Obregon is going to be a fantastic player. Depending on what happens with him somewhere down the road, if he stays in Westchester, maybe goes to a higher league, maybe gets signed or transferred to a USL Championship club, maybe an MLS club. We'll take a look. Maybe the Red Bulls or NYCFC will look at their backyard and take a look and see what's going up in Westchester and say, hey, maybe we can get this guy to join our side. So just great job, great work from Westchester SC. Of course, they are in the county and the suburb, the first suburb north of New York City and the Bronx. And they play over in Mount Vernon, New York, at the Memorial Field. It was tremendous stuff from them. And look, he scored a great goal to level the match in the 75th minute. Now, I admit I was hoping for extra time. I wanted to see this match go into extra time because I want to see what Westchester SC could probably do with an extra 30 minutes. And while, yeah, it was a penalty, in my heart of hearts, I really thought it was a little bit dubious. I thought the Detroit player intentionally tripped over the Westchester SC player, the defender. I thought he basically dove in that one, but look, it's a penalty. It was going to get called, and sold it. They converted the penalty, got a third one in second half stoppage time, and for Detroit City, they do advance into the next round of the Open Cup, and they're in the fourth round matchup. And of course, they'll be on the road taking on the Chicago Fire, and that should be a good one. Listen, it doesn't matter if it's in the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, or in Major League Baseball, whether it be Tigers, White Sox, Bears, Lions, Red Wings, Blackhawks, Pistons, Bulls. That Chicago Detroit sports rivalry is such a great rivalry. You will not miss anything. It's just going to be unbelievable what's going to be over there, and it should be a lot of fun. It should be exciting, and we're going to see what's going to happen. And we're going to see the Chicago Fire of MLS taking on Detroit City FC of USL Championship. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see what's going to happen here. And this is going to be exciting. It's going to be fun and wonderful. And I cannot wait. And so we'll see what happens moving on. We'll see what happens moving forward. And it should be exciting. And once again, it's the U.S. Open Cup. What more can you ask for? What more can you ask for? I don't know. I've been writing about it on Beyond the 90. I've been doing a lot of video work, audio work on Beyond the 90. Everything is just going tremendous. And you know what? This is why I love the Open Cup. This is why this is the national championship of American soccer on the professional and amateur levels. We need to have more of this. We need to have more Open Cup. And once again, while I am happy with what CBS Sports has done so far, I'm happy with what the clubs have done from USL Championship, League One, League Two, NPSL, and the amateurs. And while MLS has added another 8 clubs to the 8 that they gave last year, I'm still not satisfied. I'm still not satisfied, folks. And why is that? Because we need every single club from Major League Soccer, the 27 American clubs from New York City, New England, Philadelphia, DC United, Charlotte, Atlanta, Miami, Orlando, Chicago, Columbus, Cincinnati, Minnesota, Dallas, Austin, Houston, Real Salt Lake, LA Galaxy, LAFC, San Jose Earthquakes, San Diego FC now, Portland Timbers, Seattle Sounders, Colorado Rapids. We need every single American MLS club in the Open Cup. And I understand it's going to be like this for 2026. But once these shenanigans are over, and they better be over, it's time for every American MLS club to be back in the Open Cup. It's time for Leagues Cup to be gone. We cannot have interference from Liga MX, all because MLS is trying to be a league, the Federation, and CONCACAF all rolled into one in this country. It has to be put to a stop. It has to be done now. I really do hope that it's over. I really hope Leagues Cup ends, and we really, really need to have this happen now. We really, really need for this to happen now, and we really need it to happen right away. No more Leagues Cup, no more interference, no more anything involving clubs in Liga MX that is not associated with the CONCACAF Champions Cup. And some of you can probably say, well, but they are involved in CONCACAF Champions Cup. No, nothing like that. Nothing like that at all. Nothing like that at all. We need Leagues Cup to be taken out, finished, over and done with. I'm done with it. Look, I have to cover it because it's still the Red Bulls, but I want it out and gone. It is a blatant interference in the natural order of how this game is supposed to be done. And so all I want, all I need is this. All I need is Leagues Cup to go and make Open Cup full MLS participation. My next guest tonight, he is the broadcaster, play-by-play man of El Paso Locomotive, the one and only Duke Keith, joining me tonight. Duke, welcome back to the show, and how you like the new digs?
I love them, man. It looks good. I like that. I like a little ceiling fan going on. That sounds like it's a good night.
It is a really good night. It's nice and comfortable, and I don't have to worry about sweating my arms off, that's for sure. But someone who did not sweat their arms off, El Paso Locomotive. Now, for some of us not familiar with this derby against New Mexico United, boy, this really meant something, didn't it?
It sure does. The Derby del Camino Real is, usually you think of derbies as like in-city things. I know that's the way a lot of people would like to think of that, but out here in the southwestern United States, you take your proximity where you can get it, even though the cities are 266 miles apart. There's no love lost between them, that's for sure. And yeah, it's an excellent derby, and it is a real derby. Albuquerque and El Paso have been pitted against each other in a lot of different sports over a long, long period of time, and the two cities love competing against each other. It's not out and out hate like you'd find, uh, in Madrid or something with Real and Atleti or something like that, or Liverpool and Everton. It's not like that, but it's a healthy rivalry, and the two teams know it. It's funny because obviously lots of different players come from lots of different places, but you put on the New Mexico United shirt, you put on that El Paso Locomotive shirt, and you represent the cities. And yes, I think everybody understands that Derby del Camino Real is a real thing.
That's tremendous. I'm very happy to hear that. We need more, out-of-state rivalries going on here. I mean, obviously, there's always going to be that. I know the Yankees and the Red Sox, but
Oh,
still, though.
sure.
Yep. But still, though, I mean, that's wonderful to hear. Let's go ahead and tackle this. Now, obviously, El Paso on the road again at New Mexico United, and you're going to love this. Watch this.
Okay. Oh,
You like?
graphics. I like
Yes.
that a lot.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Um, And it's kind of amazing because right there you see all the yellow cards, you see all of that, and then of course, yeah, 4 for 4 from the spot, which was it was outstanding to watch. They really took their penalties well. I think New Mexico was a little, you know, I think that goaltender does the goalkeeper rather did a great job, but I think that he was perhaps a little undersized, and you know you put it in the corner and you do your job and you take your penalties well, and Locomotive certainly did, and you stand a better than average chance of getting out of there. Gideon Zalalem, I think everybody remembers this name from a few years ago with Arsenal and the U.S. men's national team, etc. Did not take a good penalty, and then of course Kalen Ryden hit the crossbar. So right, it did not go well for New Mexico. El Paso was perfect, and Andy Cabrera, the man who basically tied the match on virtually the last kick of the game in the second overtime period. Got it done from the spot to clinch it for Locomotive FC.
Yep,
It was a great
absolutely.
game.
No, it really, really was. I was like on my seat, like, watching everything that goes on. I'll show you the photo of my setup for watching all these Open Cup games. Not only the TV here with the CBS Sports Network, but I had the laptop, extra laptop, and then I got my main computer here, which is what you're on right now. So I was all set up, and I'll show it to you when I'm off the air. But what's it like seeing Wilmer Cabrera Sr. managing his son, and he just steps up at the big moments? He gets the equalizer in second half stoppage time, and he wins it in the shootout.
It was really incredible, or it's been incredible to watch really all season long, but especially in that match. Andy Cabrera has been a guy that Locomotive has been able to count on in a big way. He's now scored in a team record fourth consecutive match with this win versus New Mexico United, and scoring on almost the last kick of the game in the second extra time period. But on the road in Birmingham, just all the way through, he's been consistently good as he was for his dad. I remember him when he played at RGV and when his dad was coaching the Toros, but. He was solid then, and I think everybody wondered what his future was. Well, he's playing professionally still, and doing a great job for Dad. And I think that it's been fun to watch Wilmer. I know he's happy for his son, and it's been good to see Andy because Andy started last season. He really pushed. He had not scored for Locomotive, even though he came over about the midway point just after his father picked up the job there, on an interim basis in midseason last year, and was not in the best of form. And his dad said that he was dealing with a lot of injuries. Then dealt with an injury in preseason, and he's just beginning to get healthy. And if this is what we're seeing, is he's just beginning to get healthy, I think Locomotive fans are in for a fun treat all season long. Hopefully, he stays healthy.
Yeah, hopefully so, and should be a big, big fun time moving on to the next round of the Open Cup. When it was 2-1 for New Mexico, I mean, you're hoping that they pull back that equalizer, and obviously, probably a lot of worry going around El Paso watching this one, but until Wilmer Jr. just comes out of nowhere and does it in second half stoppage time. But still, though, I mean, what was the feeling going around that you felt from the El Paso fans that maybe they weren't going to pull it off?
Well, I was at the team watch party, which was at a downtown bar called Shifty's, and we were definitely shifting in our seats there at the very last, especially when we got to stoppage time in the extra period. And I mean, it was amazing that there was 5 minutes of stoppage time added to an extra frame like that. It was nail biting, and I don't think anybody really thought it was going to happen. You never do till it does. That's the suddenness of the sport. It's kind of amazing to me. You get used to watching football and baseball and basketball and hockey, and soccer. As slow as you might think it is sometimes, boy, when things happen, they happen fast. And that hopeful ball into the box by Gabi Torres, he's been another great story for Locomotive, an excellent pickup from Phoenix Rising. The Brazilian has been outstanding all year, and it was his cross that got Andy sprung. And Andy made one great move just to kind of push the ball, took it on the half volley, and put it in the back of the net, and the place went nuts. It was amazing, and it was almost all Locomotive fans who were there at the bar, which was, it's a Wednesday evening in downtown El Paso. Not a whole lot going on after dark, except there, and the bar just erupted. It was really fun to watch, fun to be a part of.
I bet it was. I was going to say this right now. If it was called shenanigans, I would have said, you've been watching Super Troopers too much.
That's right. Very true.
Exactly. If anyone calls shenanigans, I'm busting them in the head.
There were definitely shenanigans going on at Shifty's, but yeah,
Absolutely.
we
Well, you know what
we
they
were having
say.
fun.
You know what they say in the trade in this competition. Open cup after dark.
It was, oh my goodness, absolutely. Hashtag Open Cup After Dark all the way through, and just amazing to watch them pull back and tie it, and you could just see the air go out of the tires for New Mexico United, thinking, okay, well, we've got at least 30 more minutes of this, and both teams, I mean, they're going to be tired heading into the weekend. Locomotive has a huge test versus Colorado Springs Switchbacks,
Oh
the
yeah.
defending champions who run up and down that artificial turf up at Widener Field.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a real challenge, but always good to win in your rivalry match. Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely. There's no better feeling than beating your rivals, especially knocking off a big victory over the defending league champions of switchbacks that they are at USL Championship. That's for
Yeah.
sure. So, fourth round, you've been drawn going on the road to the capital of Texas. You're going to Austin, to the Q2.
Yes.
What are you worried about, or do you feel they have a big opportunity to knock them off?
Well, it is an opportunity, and let's not forget Wilmer Cabrera has won a U.S. Open Cup with Dynamo. It was an MLS side. Has won a Canadian Cup with Montreal. He's very good in these competitions. So, I you give them a puncher's chance, obviously. And I think New Mexico. I think that one of the things that Locomotive has done pretty well this year consistently is score goals, which has been incredible to watch after last season being dead last in the USL, or pardon me, second to last last in the Western Conference. I'll put it that way, in the USL Championship. So kind of the last to first or almost first scenario has been incredible. So you give them that puncher's chance, and Austin hasn't had the best of seasons in MLS, but they are an MLS side, and they have DP signings and guys earning seven figures annually. This is a team in Austin that should win. You would expect them to, but that is the magic of the cup. You give them an opportunity, and we'll see if Locomotive is able to take it. I think what I'm concerned about is what we saw against New Mexico is Locomotive has not had a clean sheet except for in the Open Cup versus Ventura County. They didn't even keep a clean sheet versus Harpo's, which was the team from the USSSA that they defeated in the first round of the Open, or their first round of the Open Cup anyway. So it's, keeping clean sheets. It's only happened once this year, and that was on the road versus Ventura County. So, that I think is the danger. Austin should be able to score, and we'll see if Locomotive can keep pace against an MLS side.
Absolutely, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Duke, as always, I appreciate your time. Good luck with the fourth round of the Open Cup with El Paso. Locomotive, it's going to be a big one against Austin FC and against an MLS side. I appreciate your time, and thank you very much, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Daniel. Appreciate it always.
Always. Have a good night. Thank you.
You too. Take care.
You too. Take care. That's Duke Keith, play-by-play announcer of El Paso Locomotive in USL Championship play. Excuse me. So now we're going to review the fourth round matchups here at the U.S. Open Cup Round 3 Review Show. These are the fourth round matchups for Tuesday, May the 6th and Wednesday, May the 7th first. Here we go with Tuesday, May the 7th. And I'm sorry, Wednesday. No, I was right. Tuesday, May, I screwed that up. That's okay. Look, I made a mistake. It's okay. Not a big deal. It'll be Tuesday, May the 6th. My bad. North Carolina FC will be hosting Charlotte FC, and that will be seen both on Paramount Plus and the Golazo Network at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. DC United hosting the Charleston Battery at Audi Field, and that will also be on Paramount Plus, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Nashville SC hosting Chattanooga Red Wolves on Paramount Plus at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Colorado Springs Switchbacks hosting the New York Red Bulls at Wagner Field, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Mountain on Paramount Plus and CBS Sports Golazo Network. And then the big one in the Pacific Northwest, Tacoma Defiance hosting Portland Timbers, seen both on Paramount Plus and CBS Sports Network. On Wednesday, May the 7th, see, I screwed up. That's my bad on the date, but that's okay. Starting it off at 7 o'clock Eastern on Paramount Plus on CBS Sports Network, Pittsburgh Riverhounds hosting New York City FC at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and that will be over at Highmark Stadium. The Philadelphia Union hosting Indy 11 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Paramount Plus, and that will be over at Subaru Park. Rhode Island FC hosting the New England Revolution at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Paramount Plus at the brand new Rhode Island FC Stadium. Tampa Bay Rowdies hosting Orlando City at Al Lang Stadium and also at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Paramount Plus. Louisville City hosting Minnesota United FC, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Paramount Plus. Chicago Fire hosting Detroit City FC at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Paramount Plus. Seat Geek Stadium in Bridgeview. FC Dallas hosting AV Alta FC over at Toyota Stadium on Paramount Plus at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. St. Louis City SC hosting Union Omaha at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central at Energizer Field. Paramount Plus as well. And then we just had Duke Keith on. Austin FC hosting El Paso Locomotive at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Central. On Paramount Plus. And then the Nightcaps. Phoenix Rising FC hosting Houston Dynamo at the Phoenix Rising Stadium in downtown Phoenix, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific on CBS Sports Network. And finally, the San Jose Earthquakes hosting Sacramento Republic over at PayPal Park, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, Paramount Plus, and CBS Sports Golazo Network. I want to thank my guests for tonight. I want to thank my colleague Carter Krishnaiyer from Beyond the 90. I want to thank the head coach of Chattanooga Red Wolves in Mr. Where are you? Darn it. Scott McKenzie. And, of course, Duke Keith, play-by-play voice of El Paso Locomotive. And that, my friends, is a wrap on this one. Yep, Scott McKenzie, I was correct. My name is Daniel Feuerstein. Sorry about the mishaps tonight. Hopefully this won't happen again, but still, though, thank you for joining me tonight, recapping the 2025 U.S. Open Cup Round 3 review show. Join me on Monday night. We're going to have regular guests back on, and then more fun here on the Four Scenes Fire American Soccer Show here on StreamYard, YouTube, Twitter, Blue Sky, and LinkedIn. Thank you for joining me tonight. Hope you all have a very good evening. Take care, so long, and bye-bye for now. Have a good night, everybody. But as always, please enjoy your football.